Welcome to the Lalibela'S Smith of Chicago, Illinois, nonprofit home video and artwork creations. In this particular video, we will be looking at the dome of the rock, outer wall, stone rectangular window frame images of a central Ethiopian cross that is being flanked by a 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares upon the upper left and right hand corners, as well as the lower left and right hand corners. This is one of Lalibela'S Smith of Chicago, Illinois, nonprofit home video and artwork creations' greatest archaeological and theological discoveries concerning the original book of Genesis that was translated from the Aramaic Islamic Dead Sea Scrolls that was found in the Qumran cave. That's a group of caves connected to a group of mountains that connect Giza, Gaza, Jordan, and Jerusalem together. These mountains, referred to as the Qumran cave, in which the Qumran cave was discovered, the outside of the mountains bears the ruins of a black Ethiopian couching lion sphinx. So when you reconnect a black African sphinx, barely discernible, that is his paws and his shoulders, but the face of the African sphinx on the outer surface of the Qumran cave where the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered. This is what Lalibela'S Smith of Chicago, Illinois, nonprofit home video and artworks creations has discovered. Now, when we reconnect the 1, 2, 3 group of the pyramid squares to the book of Genesis 49 chapter and 8 verse in the King James Bible, fourth son of Jacob, we must first realize that all of the 12 sons of Jacob left the Mesopotamian stealth pyramid civilization of Ham, which is located in the modern Iraqi area. That's where the Babylonian stealth pyramids exist. So here we see the book of Psalms, 105th chapter and 23rd verse. We see the 12 sons, speaking of the 12 sons of Jacob, leaving the Babylonian stealth pyramid civilizations of Ham as they crossed the Euphrates River and entered into the North African continent, where we see the fourth son of Jacob as the Ethiopian couching lion sphinx of ancient Judaism, entering into ancient Egypt amongst the 12 sons of Jacob, where we currently see him today couched down in front of the Isaiah 1919 Egyptian pyramids. Now, in order to make this archaeological and theological discoveries concerning the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, outer wall, stone rectangular window frames, solid and concrete, in order for it to stick in the minds of over 100 million Afro-Americans around the world, I must first point out that no other place in the world can you see 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares unless you go to the Giza pyramids and look down upon them from a 12 to 6 o'clock position from a helicopter. This is where we discovered the book of Genesis 49 chapter and 8 verse, fourth son of Jacob, that entered into ancient Egypt according to the book of Psalms 105th chapter and 23rd verse amongst the 12 sons of Jacob. We see the fourth son of Jacob couched down in front of the North African pyramids of Khufu as the Ethiopian couching lion sphinx of ancient Judaism. Now, when we look down upon the Egyptian pyramids from a 12 to 6 o'clock position from a helicopter, it is only then do we rediscover the dome of the rock, outer wall, stone rectangular window frames, 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares that seen flank of the central Ethiopian cross that points to a modern cross-shaped building structure located in modern Lalibela, where it was carved out of solid bedrock, and the area that was left formed the square. The square is so deep that if you jump down in it, and once you reach the bottom and look up, you're looking up from the book of Revelation 21:18, cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem. Every cube has a square for a ceiling, a square for a floor, a square for a left and right wall. As we rediscover a black African Ethiopian lion sphinx of ancient Judaism, globe earth stealth pyramid MERCATOR projections as seen within the dome of the rock, outer wall, stone rectangular window frames, we would have participated in one of the greatest archaeological and theological discoveries of all time. Now, when we look at the 1, 2, 3 group of the pyramid squares flanking a central Ethiopian cross, this is where geography and architecture becomes a central part of our discovery. Now, when we talk about the stealth pyramids in Babylon, we're talking about the black African civilizations of Ham. Make a note of that, okay? And don't get it twisted. We're not talking about anything dealing with Greek and Roman or image of Jesus or Jehovah. We're talking about the black African civilizations of Ham. In Babylon, speaking the ancient Islamic and Aramaic language in which the Dead Sea Scrolls was originally written in, which brings us back to the Qumran cave, outer wall images of an African sphinx upon the outer mountain surface area. Now, when we rediscover the African sphinx of ancient Judaism that was denied in theological racism in 1611 by the King of England, appointed 72 Greek and Hebrew scholars to go to Jerusalem, Giza, and Gaza and study the Islamic Aramaic Dead Sea Scrolls. First, we must point out that the entire 400-year-old mistranslated King James Bible was illegally mistranslated from the Islamic Aramaic Dead Sea Scrolls language, which denied the book of Genesis 49 chapter and 8 verse, fourth son of Jacob, that is now couched down in front of the Isaiah 1919 Egyptian pyramids as the Ethiopian couching lion sphinx of the tribe of Judah, that ruled over ancient Giza and Gaza, Palestine, Ethiopia, and Jerusalem. Once we made that connection, we must first point out the enemy of Jerusalem and Islam turns out to be the book of Daniel 8:12 Greek and Roman conquerors, whose eye appear on the back of the American dollar bill pyramid. So you take a dollar bill out your pocket or purse and turn it over, you see the white man that wrote the English Bible 400 years ago through the 72 Greek and Hebrew scholars under the King of England authority. He denied the black African Egyptian sphinx in front of the pyramid of Khufu, and he denied his archaeological and theological connection to the Dome of the Rock, outer wall, stone rectangular window frames. Now remember, these stone rectangular window frames adorn the total surface area of the outer wall of the octagonal building structure of King David and Solomon. So as we move forward in our archaeological and theological and astronomical discoveries concerning the black African Egyptian sphinx lion of the tribe of Judah, Dome of the Rock, outer wall, stone rectangular window frames, 1, 2, 3 group of the pyramid squares that seen flanking a central Ethiopian cross that points to the cross-shaped building structure located in modern Lalibela in Ethiopia. Once we've made the archaeological discoveries, then the entire Bible becomes exposed. The 400-year-old mistranslated English and Latin and Greek scriptures, in which is the Greek double eye up on the back of the American dollar bill pyramid, deceive the entire Afro-American community. Now, when we look at this discovery, we see that the globe earth stealth pyramid MERCATOR projection applies to the Ethiopian cross. Okay, make a note of that. So when you go back to Sunday school or theology class and your minister and preacher fail to point out the central Ethiopian cross within all the stone rectangular window frames that adorn the Dome of the Rock octagonal building structure of King David and Solomon. Now remember, this is one of the greatest archaeological and architectural discoveries of Laurel Smith of Chicago, Illinois, non-profit home building and artworks creations. So as we look at the Dome of the Rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame images of a 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares flanking a central Ethiopian cross, we have reclaimed modern Lalibela, stone cross-shaped building structure that was carved out of solid bedrock. The roof lies level with the ground, so the area that was left formed the square, and the square is so deep that if you jump down in it, once you reach the bottom and look up, you look it up from the cubic dimensions of the book of Revelation, returning cube structure of New Jerusalem. However, I must go into the schematics of our archaeological and theological discoveries concerning the 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares seen flanking a central Ethiopian cross within the stone rectangular window frames of the Dome of the Rock, octagonal building structure, outer wall surface area. If you take a blank piece of paper, a white blank piece of paper, and draw a rectangular section of the Ethiopian cross, that's the vertical section. Okay, you might make it the thickness of 2 fingers. And then you draw a horizontal rectangular section of the cross-shaped building structure in Lalibela, the Ethiopian cross. Okay, so far you have a rectangular section on a blank white sheet of paper representing the vertical part of the Ethiopian cross. Then you have a horizontal rectangular section. Now, when you place a square on this within the vertical and horizontal section, make sure that the square that you draw on the blank piece of paper, the square falls level halfway between the vertical upper end of the cross, vertical section, and the vertical lower south end. Okay, and do this. Make sure that it falls halfway between the horizontal left end of the rectangular cross structure and east and west ends. So now when you look at your blank piece of paper, you're actually looking at the globe earth step pyramid MERCATOR projection of the book of Psalms, 105th chapter and 23rd verse, 12 sons of Jacob. Make a note of that. Now as we move forward with Laurel Smith of Chicago, Illinois, greatest archaeological and theological discovery as it relates to the architecture of the Egyptian pyramids of Isaiah 19:19, that was discovered flanking a central Ethiopian cross within the stone rectangular window frames of the Dome of the Rock octagonal building structure outer wall surface area. Now, here's where we discover the Giza pyramids. When you stand in front of them and look straight at them, you see 1, 2, 3 triangles, right? So when I talk about the 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares flanking a central Ethiopian cross, I'm talking about the 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramids upon the Giza plateau, as seen from a helicopter. When you look straight down upon them from a 12 to 6 o'clock position, you see the 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid bases as squares. Now, since we are talking about the squares and their relationship to the globe earth step pyramid MERCATOR projection of the 12 sons of Jacob that left the modern Iraqi Babylonian step pyramid civilization of Ham speaking the ancient Islamic Aramaic Dead Sea Scroll language. That's the first archaeological discovery. When we destroy the Hebrew language, make a note of this, and when we uplift the ancient Islamic and Aramaic language in which the people in Syria now speaks today, and the people in Giza and Gaza, Palestine, Ethiopia, Iraq, Iran, the people in Jordan, the people in Lebanon, we're talking about all of the 12 sons of Jacob that now populate the Middle East, still speaking the ancient Islamic Aramaic Dead Sea Scroll language, in which the 400-year-old mistranslated King James Bible was illegally translated from into English, Greek, and Latin by the 1611 King of England in the North Pole area of Escobar's birth in the freezing icy mountain area So we call it the Caucasus Mountains, where the Caucasian, or the white man, left the North Pole area of our basketball-shaped earth and entered into Africa, Egypt, Giza, Gaza, Palestine, and Jerusalem, and started his deceit upon the African Sphinx line of Judah, Ethiopian, Axumite, Cushite kingdoms that inhabited Giza, Gaza, Ekron, Ascalon, Palestine, and Jerusalem. Now, when we make this archaeological and theological discovery solid, we return back to the 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid squares that appear within the stone rectangular window frames upon the outer wall surface area of the dominant octagonal building structure of King David and Solomon. So as we look at this globe earth style pyramid MERCATOR projection, is one thing that we must keep in mind. When you look at the earth, place it at your feet and look straight down upon it. So like you're standing straight up and you place the basketball at your feet and look straight down at it, that's called a North Pole concentrically viewed map image of planet Earth. So when you place the earth at your feet and look straight down upon it, you're looking at a North Pole concentrically viewed map. So I call it a 21 globe earth North Pole concentrically viewed map image. Here's where we discover the Egyptian pyramids, globe earth 21 rectangular king chamber dimensions, in which the meridian lines, looking straight down upon the earth, we see the meridian lines emerging as spokes in a bicycle wheel within the octagonal roof of the dome of the rock itself. Now, here's where we discover the octagonal equatorial perimeter of the globe earth as relating to the dome of the rock octagonal roof, as seen in the North Pole concentrically viewed map image of planet Earth. Now, when we look at the Ethiopian cross-shaped building structure in Lalibela that was carved out of solid bedrock, and its ceiling lies level with the ground. So if you're standing in front of the cross-shaped building structure in modern Lalibela in Ethiopia, the square that the cross-shaped building structure was carved out of the solid bedrock, the area that was left formed the square. And the square is so deep that if you jump down in it and look up, you're looking up from the cubic dimension of New Jerusalem, because every cube has a square for a ceiling, a square for a floor, a square for a left and right wall. So as we uncover the cross-shaped building structure in modern Lalibela, we must look at it from a helicopter point of view, from a 12 to 6 o'clock position. Then we see the cross-shaped building structure in modern Lalibela, original globe earth style pyramid MERCATOR projection of the black African Ethiopian couching lion Sphinx of ancient Judaism that's referred to in the book of Genesis 49 chapter and 8 verse as the fourth son of Jacob, who entered into ancient Egypt according to Psalms 105th chapter and 23rd verse amongst the 12 sons of Jacob. So this did totally destroy the European Bible, the Greek and Roman Bible that's read in every church in America. Make a note of that. The English Bible that's read in every church in America has been destroyed by uncovering the black African Ethiopian couching lion Sphinx of ancient Judaism. 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid squares flanking the central Ethiopian cross, in which appears within all of the stone rectangular window frames that adorn the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, outer wall surface area. Globe earth style MERCATOR projection appearing within the stone rectangular window frames that adorn the outer wall surface area. We see that the Ethiopian cross vertical rectangular section and vertical horizontal section, when it has a square as it appears within the Dome of the Rock outer walls. So when you apply